here on a sunny day, and might as well get ready for the heated part of the tennis season in more ways than one. Here with Alvin Tudorica, who has been here now your fourth year, correct?
Yep.
I lose track sometimes because you've been around for a while. Yeah. It's senior day this weekend. Yep. It's International Day, which I think there might be one non-international on your team. Did you think about that? Or are they all international?
I think everyone's international, yeah.
And you're from Toronto.
Yep.
You still a Maple Leafs fan, or have you become a Lightning fan since you... I always bust him about that.
I'm going to stick to Toronto.
Grew up hockey or tennis and hockey? What was your big sport that you maybe could play and be a fan of?
It was a lot of sports, but I'd say I grew up with obviously tennis and soccer until about 11-ish, when I started focusing more on tennis. On tennis. But I mean, every Saturday night is this thing called the Hockey Night in Canada.
I know that. Is that the good old hockey game theme song, TV song, or is that separate?
I'm not sure. I know that song though.
Okay,
but
we're not going to sing it. Don't worry. But so Saturday night was your big thing?
Yeah. So almost every Saturday I'd watch Hockey Night in Canada, and that was I always looked forward to Saturday nights because of that.
I'm picturing you watching. I'm trying to pull back some names as far as famous Canadian tennis players. Was there anybody that you watched and like, I want to be like him someday kind of thing? Or it could have been an American player, I guess.
I'd say it wasn't really a Canadian tennis player, because there was a few, like Milos Raonic, he was #3 in the world, but I'd say it was more Rafa.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so dominant, one of the GOATs of the sport, and he's a lefty like I am. So
there you go. Well, you know, people would just assume you've become a GOAT here, but you know, you started off just playing a few matches as a freshman, which is about what you'd expect. And folks, as a sophomore, you did something incredible. You started back at the 6 courts, then you started playing some 5 and 4. You went on a 14-match winning streak, which I don't care what position you're playing. When you think back, is that almost hard to believe?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I started the season 2-2
right
at 6. And then one of my teammates got sick, so he didn't travel to the next trip, so I got bumped to 5. And then for some reason, I mean, from there, it's just the rest is history, I guess. I mean, 14 in a row, 9-0 at 5, then moved up to 4. And I mean, yeah, it was like a dream season for me.
Like a month and a half without a loss. For people not familiar with the college tennis situation, first of all, you play doubles. He's really good at that too with your buddy Eric. And then it's 3 courts. Whoever gets the 2 wins first takes the 1-point lead. And then there's 6 singles matches. So your top players on the 1-2 court, then it drifts down to 6. But they're all, I mean, I come to a college tennis match and you couldn't tell me which is 1 and which is 6. And you've seen it from all angles. Is there much difference?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, when like you said, I was on the 14-match winning streak, I felt like I was playing 5 and 4 near the end of the season, but I definitely felt like I could even definitely have a competitive match with our 1 and 2 guys. And I would back myself, especially feeling like I'm not really losing in that time period. So yeah, it depends from team to team, but yeah, a lot of teams are pretty deep like that.
But speak to since you've experienced it from every level, is there something small, I mean, that separates those guys that, you know, thrive at the top spots? Because you've got, and I'm sure there's a little bit of a mental angle to it as well. It's like, okay, it's going to be tough every time out. And you look at his scores, I mean, every match is close. Every match is going to a 3rd set.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Maybe even correct you on the little bit of a mental. It's a lot of a mental.
Makes sense.
Factor. And again, like college tennis is also a lot momentum based. You win a few matches and then you feel you gain momentum, and it's tough to break that momentum. And sometimes, unfortunately, it can go the other way. You lose a few matches and then it's kind of tough to get out of it. But I mean, it's all part of it. I had a few tough losses this season where it was tough mentally, but I mean, you just have to try to work and get out of it.
Whoever you're playing is going to be good, but whoever the Bulls play is going to be good. I mean, you look at this weekend, it's a couple of ranked teams. The Bulls are in the rankings themselves. But could you speak to that part of it? Because not only has Ashley Fisher, the head coach, laid out such an incredible schedule, they just came back from San Diego, where you guessed it, 3 ranked teams, but also with that, getting to go to some pretty cool places. That part of it has been fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of the best parts about college tennis. I mean, just the whole experience, how many people get to go to across the country just to play something you've always grown up doing. So that's something maybe sometimes people take for granted, but us as college athletes are definitely very fortunate and hopefully grateful for that. So, yeah.
Well, they were just in San Diego, which is now his second home, because I'm going to brag on you a little bit, and I want people to understand this. Generally, until recently, the college, from a team angle, the college season is fall and spring. Fall is more about individual tournaments. It doesn't count for your team ranking. And then the spring is when you play team versus team. So in the fall, this year it became something where they decided, I think this is a good move, to have the individual championships get held, because normally after the team in the spring is decided, then the individuals, a lot of whom have just worn themselves out, have to play for an individual title. So all you had to do was go, was it Georgia? Georgia Tech?
The regional? Yeah, it was at Georgia Tech, yeah.
So the Southeast Regional was a 64-player field with Florida, Florida State, Miami, Georgia Tech, Georgia, all the Southeast teams. And only the ones that made the final, that'd be 2 out of 64, advanced to the national. And my man here won 5 matches and did. He finished second, who cares? He got to go to San Diego and was a national quarterfinalist. Was your expectation level high at all going into that? And then you can't break it down match by match because I know so many crazy things happen, but correct me if I'm wrong. Every time it looked like somebody was going to win a set, the other person did. And fortunately, you were losing in most of the sets, meaning you won most of them.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I feel like expectation plays a big thing. I went into that not really having expectations, just wanting to go out there and take it one match at a time in my last fall. And yeah, I mean, it kind of, expectation sometimes works against you, because I made it to quarterfinals of nationals, and then going into this season, I kind of had these expectations of keeping it, and then that's when sometimes it goes the other way. And
back to the mental thing too.
Yeah,
right?
Again, yeah, it's all mental. A lot of it's mental. So yeah, I went in there not really having expectations, very close to losing a lot of matches, and luckily, I mean, it ended up going the way it did. Wish I could have won regionals, but definitely still proud of what I did. But yeah, expectation, big part of tennis.
And that'll just set you up for being ready for, I'm guessing, anything in the future. As we start to wrap it up here, yeah, this weekend you guys got a lot more season to go, but you're playing again on Friday. It's going to be senior day, and then Sunday is International Day. How important are these 2 matches for you guys? I know just a little bit below 500, but obviously you're right there in all these very tough matches.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very important for us as a team. My mom might be coming out as well, which makes it extra special. It's not confirmed, but it would be special if she comes.
All the way from Canada?
Yeah, they're gonna fly, not drive this time. I know we've done the drive a few times, but it's too crazy of a drive. So, but yeah, extra special for the team. Trying to make a push, get the ranking up, make the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, a lot of things special about this weekend, but we just try to go out and have fun, I guess.
Well, you guys are fun to watch and fun to follow, and I really appreciate you sitting down. I know it's been a lot on your plate the last few months, and thanks for stopping by on Bullseye. And by the way, if you're watching us on ESPN Plus, you can actually watch the match get streamed on Friday. I don't know if you do anything different with your hair. Your hair looks fine. Do you do anything different before a televised match?
Nah, I don't even think about it.
Well, I just made him think about it then. Darn it. Sorry about that. All right, forget it. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We'll wrap up Bullseye next.